Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. Hello and happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness, we made it through another week. Can you believe it? Here we are together once again for a beautiful Friday. And, well, you know, I always say that every day is beautiful, but a Friday is even more so, right? Because it's a Friday. You know, every day should be a Friday. I probably think I've said that before. I'm already starting the show saying I think I said that before. Every time I start talking on a tangent, I go, I think I've mentioned this before. It's not repetitive, ladies and gentlemen. It's just more of, the message that we try to share here on Operation Status Quo in general. So sometimes topics overlap, ideas overlap. It is what it is. But, you know, you see, what's great about it in a way is that when we come together and speak on some of these things that we talk about here on Operation Status Quo, you know, and when things do overlap, it is a reminder of the main point that I make, that everything is really, you know, all one confluence of energies one way or another. So, you know, it just depends on what facets you're looking at, but it's all playing out in different ways. But essentially, you know, it's all the same, if you have any idea of what I'm trying to explain. All right, anyway, hello and welcome to Operation Status Quo. If you haven't been here before, hello and welcome, and thank you for your time. It is greatly appreciated. This is the place. I'm Pete Palma, by the way. I am your user-friendly host, broadcasting live from the comfy confines of my very own home here in beautiful Florida. And this is Operation Status Quo, where we merely observe the status quo of life. We learn to flow with the status quo of life. And then, of course, we create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go. So anyway, today is a Friday, and you know what, sometimes on Fridays I like to have fun. It's been about a month since we did our last rendition of Just the Facts, Ma'am, and today is the 25th of August in the good year 2023, and that's exactly what we'll be doing today. Just the Facts, Ma'am, Part 8, where we will delve into some fun and interesting facts and see what they have to share for you, the beautiful people out there, and for everybody aside from the people. I mean, maybe just, you know, the people, the entities, the Walking Dead. I don't know. You know, it's good fun for all facets of existence. That's what I would like to say. And before we get into it, you know, I just want to mention quickly because, I don't know, I feel like kind of peppy today. You know, like I've spoken, whoever watches me regularly every day, you know, we all have our ups and downs slightly. And I spoke, I don't know if it was beginning of this week or if it was last week, something about just in general feeling a little stuck in the muck in certain ways of, you know, because we've been in this grind of the way life has been for the past couple of years. And, you know, everybody's trying to get a handle on, you know, how to really move forward, you know, with all the discombobulation that's going on, because we don't really know how things are going to play out. I mean, you see what's going on politically and you know, and around the world, you know, with the wars and, you know, whatever, fires and, you know, everything else that's happening that seems like the total apocalypse and, you know, I guess the judgment day, right? So, but, you know, the last couple days, I don't know what it is, like, you know, when I feel that way, you know, I always remind myself of what I try to express to you, and that's like one of the great, you know, reasons that I enjoy coming here. It's not only I feel like it's reinstills in myself the messages that I, you know, what I'm saying to you, the people out there, is the same type of stuff, you know, I would say to myself to remind myself when things get a little out of whack, you know. And I just kind of reeled things in over this past week, and you know, I think it all has to do with, you know, planetary alignments and how things change too. We all go through cycles and such, but you know, just part of how I was feeling, I don't know. I guess the bottom line what I'm saying is I had some, you know, I don't want to say fears, but yeah, like, you know, just life in general. Like I started getting a little worried about a couple things, and, you know, I'm realizing like here, you know, you're focusing on that stuff again when, you know, we have to realize that, you know, it's higher than that, and, you know, to go inside. And I started, you know, trying to do that more for myself again. The same thing I would tell you beautiful people to do out there if you were feeling any kind of way, to go inside and let the answers, you know, come to you. And I can't say I've had any you know, amazing revelation or something, but at the same time, like I've definitely felt more peaceful this week because I just kind of let a few things go, things that I was worried about, or, you know, trying to figure out this, that, or the other. Especially with, you know, I talk about the daytime job sometimes, and, you know, it's frustrating, and you know, and some of those thoughts, you know, that go through my head, but I just kind of put everything in a space, and, you know, as cheesy as it sounds, you know, because I don't, you know, I was raised Catholic. I always say I'm a recovering Catholic. So, the organized religion thing I have a little bit of an issue with. But at the same time, it doesn't take away from the messages that are shared or meant to be shared. I'll go on sometimes to say about the Bible being manipulated and such, but it doesn't mean that, the truths aren't still within what's, there in certain regards. So, I don't know. I don't know why I got myself off on a tangent. But I guess I'm basically trying to say, of looking at the big picture of, what's going on and, what control do we each as individuals have over anything exterior? Really nothing, right? So it really is about giving it up to God. That's what I wanted to say and why I brought up the Bible and stuff and say, really the truth is, like, however you want to word it to yourself, but whatever's going on in your life, if it's really starting to weigh you down, you're saying, listen, Lord, I got to give this up to you, and all I can do is be, and put my best foot forward, and let you do the work that you do to make things happen the way they're supposed to be, and not just for myself. I'm saying that in my personal situation of how that helped me this week, but also on the world level, like, when I see everything that's going on and all the underground stuff that I kind of follow, and I really see everything starting to congeal, and we're really getting somewhere. And I said this the other day, I think about, there's going to be some sort of event, that's going to just be the one, and I think it's coming like within the next, month or so. So, come back and tell me how wrong I was, if I'm wrong. But I've been following this for a while, and I've been believing in this for a while. I kind of thought certain things may happen sooner, but just some revelations of stuff that came out, especially after what happened with Trump yesterday and the mugshot and everything. And I'm not going to go down any of those roads because today's a fun day. But basically, I just kind of wanted to speak on reminding everybody that, we have our bad days and such, but, there's bigger plans at play. And, we don't have to be angry at the world. Like, we get mad about the politics and the people, and like, everything is just symbols, it's all symbology and energy. So, we can't look at it like, again, I think I said yesterday, we can't look at it everything like face value, right? So anyway, I'm feeling good. I hope you're feeling good out there. And if you're not, just go inside and give it up to God, and everything is going to be all right. Things are going to be fine because it's all right. Take it to the end of the line. Maybe I should I'll just do a whole show where I do, that's what we'll do. I want you, the audience. Okay, here we go, guys. Before I start with just the facts, ma'am, I would like for you to drop in the comments the songs that you would like for me to sing. I'll do a whole show of just singing the songs of the requested by my audience. That's how much I love you people out there. I'm willing to make a fool of myself like that. All right, here we go. Let's just do some fun facts here today on Operation Status Quo, ladies and gentlemen. The first one we have today is, believe this or not, I didn't realize this myself, but sea lions can dance to a beat. Now, I don't know, I guess they tested this out, but let's see. There are only 2 mammals on Earth with the proven ability to move their bodies in time with an external beat. Humans, of course, humans might not be the best dancers. Some of them, I can say for myself, I'm probably one of them. I'm not a sea lion. Probably does dance better than me, but the sea lion. Well, with the sea lion's the other one that can dance to a beat. So only humans and sea lions. So if you can't find a dance partner when you're out, maybe you bring a sea lion to a party. If you got a wedding to go to, you're single, bring a sea lion and you'll have somebody to dance with, right? When researchers at the University of Santa Cruz rescued a stranded sea lion in 2013, they found she was very smart and that she was even able to learn how to dance. Though parrots can also keep a rhythm, it was previously thought that only animals capable of complex vocal learning could do this. So there you go. So again, the sea lions can dance, like a sea lion dance party. Wouldn't that be great to go to like a club one day and it's just like a sea lion club, and the sea lions are all like flapping around out there? I mean, that would be pretty cool. It'd be a great idea to open a business, right? The sea lion dance club, Here we go. Rolls-Royce makes the most expensive car in the world. Currently the most expensive car in the world is the Rolls-Royce. It's with itself $13 million. Could you imagine spending $13 million for a car? Even if I was like ultimately rich, I can't imagine I don't know, maybe because of the way I was raised and everything. I like cars. I like nice cars, but I mean, I can see dropping like, 60, 70K on a real sharp looking car, if I had that kind of money. But I can't see spending 13 million. You know how many houses you can buy for 13 million? Honestly, you know how many homeless people you can help for $13 million, So, oh man, the way our world is, isn't that crazy? That just goes to show, the stuff we talk about here on Operation Status Quo, how our world is designed, right? I mean, designed that somebody has money to go buy a $13 million car, and then other people are starving. Not to say that people who work hard shouldn't do whatever they want to do with their money, of course, but at the same time, the system's set up that way so that, we don't really care about us as a group. We just care about like, oh, look how cool I am because I can get a $13 million car. I would never get a Rolls Royce. I will be honest, my least favorite car is the Mercedes. I apologize if you're a Mercedes driver out there, but I just have automatic disdain when I see a Mercedes on the road. I'm not really sure where it stems from, but they drive like crap generally, the people in the Mercedes. They're pretty, uppity, snooty kind of people generally. I apologize for my judgments and generalizations. I do know people that have Mercedes that are nice people, but when I see a Mercedes right away, and I would never get one, I would never even want to be associated with that. And the BMW too is just as bad, really. I would get a BMW before a Mercedes, but at the same time, I don't know. It's all this like, to me, those kind of cars are like hoity-toity, trying to show your, I don't know. I think it's a put on more so than enjoying the vehicle. All right. Anyway, the next one. The famed Typhoid Mary infected more than 50 people by cooking for them. Typhoid Mary was a real historical person who became notorious in the early 1900s. She was an Irish woman named Mary Mallon, who, I guess that's Mallon. Let me see if I can make that a little bigger to make sure I'm reading it right. Yeah, Mallon, Mary Mallon. I apologize for my eye, so sometimes I got to, make sure I'm reading right. Mary Mallon, who immigrated to the United States in the 1880s. Though she had no symptoms of typhoid fever, she carried the bacteria in her blood and could pass it on to other people. Because no doctor could convince her that she was that this was true and that because she didn't feel sick, she insisted on working as a cook. During her career, she infected at least 51 people, 3 of whom died before she was isolated in enforced quarantine for the last decade of her life. Oh my God, they kept her in quarantine for the last decade of her life. Well, honestly, the doctor told her she was sick, and, she says, no, I don't feel sick, so I'm fine. And then she infected people. So it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's premeditated murder, but it's like, it's some sort of murder, right? So that's probably why they kept her for the rest of her life, because they figured, well, you didn't listen, you killed these people, so couldn't they just give her a shot or something at that point to cure her? I mean, I know the specifications of typhoid, whatever, but at the same time, we do know, we talk about here on Operation Status Quo about how much power we do actually have over our health, and even if we do have an illness, we have the ability through proper nutrition and such to reset our body and to eliminate it, because sickness can only live in a acidic environment, and if you create an alkaline body situation, you should be fine. So I don't know. I guess they weren't doing that back then. So it is what it is. The poor woman, she just wanted to cook for some people. Maybe she knew she had typhoid, and she decided, like, I want to get rid of some of these jokers that I don't like too much. So I'm going to put a little something extra in their soup today. Okay. The legend of the Loch Ness Monster goes back nearly 1,500 years. That's right. We all know the tale of the Loch Ness Monster. I guess there's a tale written in the year 565 AD that speaks of an Irish monk traveling through Scotland. While there, Saint Columba heard stories of a water beast that attacked and killed the local people when they went into the river. Wanting to help, the monk used his friend as bait, oh my God, to lure the beast into sight, at which point Columba commanded it to go no further, and the creature stopped and swam back upstream. The river is now known in Scotland as the River Ness, which flows out of the famous Loch Ness. So there you go. I guess he told that Loch Ness Monster a thing or two. Listen, it is what it is. You probably don't want to, even if you're an evil creature, or or you don't have no religious affiliation, maybe you feel bad. A saint tells you to turn around and go back. You think, maybe I should just kind of listen to the saint. I'm not really sure. Although I don't know how nice this saint is, because he used his friend as bait. I mean, I don't know what he did. Did he tie him to a rope and just kind of dangle him out in the water and waiting for the Loch Ness Monster to come? But either way, thank God that his friend was fine, and the Loch Ness Monster turned and went away. I haven't heard any stories recently of the Loch Ness Monster eating anybody, so hopefully what the saint did back then did the trick, and everybody's in good shape. All right, let's see here. Nutmeg can be fatally poisonous. Oh, we all like a little bit of nutmeg, but a little dash of nutmeg in a pumpkin pie or on your eggnog can give it some extra flavor and a lovely spicy scent. Too much nutmeg, however, can be toxic. 2 to 3 teaspoons of raw nutmeg can induce hallucinations, convulsions, pain, nausea, and paranoia that can last for several days. Actual fatalities are rare, but they have happened. Now, the first thing I think about with this is, okay, all right, we know this now. We know this about nutmeg, so let's work this out. How do we take enough to enjoy the hallucinations, but not have the convulsions, pain, nausea, and paranoia? All right, and maybe a little paranoia, because sometimes that happens when you smoke some marijuana, you get a little paranoid. But the hallucinations sound great. So maybe we can work this out. It's another episode we can do here together as you, the people out there, and me, the show. Maybe we can do some sort of tests. We can all do tests on ourselves, maybe. That's what we should do. Let's do this. Let's get a volunteer out there to contact me. We'll have you on the show. You'll take raw nutmeg live while you're on the show, and we'll see what kind of reaction you have. We'll start with one teaspoon and see what goes. See if you start to get a little, because maybe we can, if we just do half, because it says 2 to 3 teaspoons, can induce these things. So let's try like 1.5 and see where we are. Like maybe we get some hallucinations. That wouldn't be so bad, right? Hallucinations are fun. They'd be a lot better than what we're seeing in real life, that's for sure. Okay, next. Chinese police use geese squads. Geese in China. You've heard of police dogs, but police geese? Well, as of 2013, 12 police stations in the rural area of China have begun to use geese as sentries. They are alert animals, and as you probably know, can create a lot of noise and commotion, which creative Chinese law enforcement officers are taking advantage of. While this trend has yet to spread throughout China, Dongguan police claim that the geese have already stopped at least one theft. So there you go. I don't know how you train a goose per se. I mean, like how does the goose know to get agitated? I guess they just stick them somewhere, and anybody who comes near that area, the goose gets agitated. So unless geese are aware, maybe they take the geese, let the geese lay eggs, and they put the eggs around, like say your business, you put the eggs around. So if somebody comes in and tries to rob your business, the geese want to protect their eggs. I'm just trying to figure out how this works, people. I mean, maybe they have a whole goose training program that they put the geese through, I guess like they do with dogs. So I didn't know the geese could be trained, but birds are pretty smart in general, so I guess they could. So if you are out and about and you see like a goose, guarding some sort of place, like maybe the goose is standing outside the ATM, you're thinking about robbing that ATM or doing something like that, and you see a goose around, just mind your P's and Q's, okay? All right. The first iPhone wasn't made by Apple. How about that? Now, that's something, I don't know if I knew that or not. The first mobile device to be called an iPhone was made by Cisco, CISCO, not Apple. It allowed the user to use the voice functions of Skype without a computer. Apple announced its own product just 22 days later, and Cisco sued for trademark infringement. The lawsuit was ultimately settled out of court, and both companies were allowed to keep using the same name. However, you've probably never heard of the Cisco iPhone. Well, isn't that something? They had it, right? Imagine that. It's almost like what was the guy? What was his name from the Beatles? Was it Peter Best, or was that his name? I forget. He was part of the band. I don't know if he was the drummer before Ringo or something. Anyway, and then he wound up leaving the band or didn't. Whatever happened, and then look what happened. The Beatles, the greatest band of all time, they would say, right? So he got screwed out of that a little bit. So. This company comes out with the iPhone. Apple goes, nah, I don't think so. We'll do an iPhone. And they go, no, we're going to sue you. Okay, here's some money out of court. Take it, go do your thing, and we're going to go ahead and corner the market, and you're out of business. They paid those guys off, and they're probably like, who the frig needs to make iPhones now? We're rich. Let's go buy one of those Rolls Royces for $13 million, right? All right, here we go. A couple more for you here today, ladies and gentlemen, on Operation Status Quo. Thanks again for being here. I appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please, why not? Like, subscribe, and share. It's it's fun and it's free. All right. There's a country where twins are most likely to be born, and that is, I gotta make it bigger so I can read it. Let's see here. It's Benin, 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 I guess you would say, is it Benin? I don't know, but Benin or Benin, a country in Central Africa, is notable for having the highest birth rate of twins in the world. While the world average is just 13 twins per 1,000 births, Benin or Benin, however you say it, I apologize to the country if I'm not saying it correctly. That country, though, more than doubles that rate at nearly 30 twins per 1,000 births. There's no single factor that causes this, but genetics, diet, and even the mother's height are thought to play a role. So, well, over there in Africa, unfortunately, they do a lot of, the genetic testing and stuff. Sorry to go down a conspiracy road on a Friday. So God knows, when all these people who have no food and all, and they bring the crates of shit over to feed them, God knows what, they're using them as experiments. So God knows what they're putting in their food to see, it's probably some kind of test, to see if we can increase birth rate and such. So God knows what they're doing over there. But either way, twins are being born, which is a nice thing, because if you have twins, if you lose one, you don't feel so bad because you got another one that's just like it, right? So it's not kind of like really losing anything. All right. Let's see. The Comic Sans font, that's S-A-N-S, the Comic Sans font came from an actual comic book. Most adults nowadays who know anything about graphic design steer away from using the Comic Sans font in normal documents. The font was designed by Vincent Conner, who drew direct inspiration from his favorite comic books, including Alan Moore and David Gibbons' celebrated Watchmen series. So there you go. I'm not sure what that font looks like exactly. I'm not sure if I've ever used it. If it looked cool, I probably would. So if you like it, don't listen to what they say. If you have to steer away from using it in formal documents. Why can't you use it in a formal document? Especially some of your work documents that are nonsense. You might as well use a comic kind of font, right? Because it's comical that you got to do this bullshit paperwork that doesn't mean anything, right? All right, here we go. Last one for today here on Operation Status Quo, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it looks like I'm buffering a little bit there. I saw the screen kind of freeze up for a second. So I'm here. If you're there, I'm here. For 100 years, maps have shown an island that doesn't exist. Almost nothing is known about Sandy Island, a landmass about the size of Manhattan in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of Australia. Supposedly, explorer James Cook discovered it in 1774, and it began appearing on nautical maps in 1908. It wasn't until 2012 when a team of Australian scientists set out to survey the island they discovered there was no island there at all. Ooh. The scientists guessed that Cook may have, in fact, spotted a pumice raft, a floating volcanic stone, and gas. That's what they're trying to say. So anyway, the Sydney Morning Herald even published an obituary for Sandy Island. So maybe it exists, maybe it doesn't. Maybe he was driving by and it was like a whale that was just kind of taking a nap and he just thought it was an island. Maybe the sea level rose a little bit since then and the island's covered. Doesn't mean it's not there. But who really knows, ladies and gentlemen, the mysteries of Sandy Island. So go get a map and see if Sandy Island's on it. Maybe if you want to do something fun for a trip, you take a trip over to Australia out there and you go out and see if you can find Sandy Island, which would be a lovely, lovely thing. All right. Well, that's what I have for you here today. Just a little fun on a Friday, and I hope you guys have a great weekend out there. That was Just the Facts, ma'am, part 8. Ooh, part 8. So we're moving along with our fun facts. So please, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't done so already, like, subscribe, share, send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well. I love each and every one of you individually as well as a group. God bless you out there. Remember, like I always say, stay positive, stay happy, keep on keeping on, because things are coming to fruition in this beautiful world, and just live to be your best self, because that's what it's all about. Until Monday, Operation Status Quo disengaged.